Hey y'all, how y'all doing? My name is China L. Colston, also known as Chinese. I'm an actress and independent filmmaker based in New York, but I was born and raised in Chicago. So today I'll be doing my Actors Hustle interview series. And this actor, Daniel Danielson, has obliged me with his time, and I'll be asking him a series of questions related to his acting journey. So, how you doing, Daniel?
I'm very well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm good. Thank you so much. So, thank you so much for doing this interview series with me.
Yeah, it's a privilege.
Okay, sweet. All right. So the first question is, what was your first non-union paid gig?
uh,
Acting.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce it.
You don't.
No,
Was
no.
it film, theater, or television?
Film.
It was film.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was awesome, if I remember correctly. But I remember it was the most distinct. I'm pretty sure it was the first one, but it was the most distinct because I made a lot of money and
Mm,
I negotiated it myself.
wow.
And that money helped me to pay for the union dues. So it was called I forgot how I can't see it, but it was from Indonesia. So
Wow.
when I got the audition, I remember it was a cab driver, like a New York cab driver. His name was Chris Brown. That was the character's name. And I didn't really know that they were not from America in the beginning.
Okay.
Except when I got the script, I was kind of like, because he was saying he was supposed to be like, like a Baptist, with this, oh, sweet Lord Jesus, but he was saying like, oh, Holy Mother of God. And I was just kind of like, something ain't right here. I couldn't understand why. Yeah, I got with the character. He was a more of a comic relief.
Hmm.
He picks the lead up in the cab downtown. They don't know where they're going. And it had something to do with like 9/11. So it was more of a serious issue. The story was that the person, somebody had died in 9/11, and they were Muslim, and their family were being like, harassed because they were Muslim, but they worked in the World Trade Center, and then the daughter or something came to the U.S. to try to find out sort of what happened, and I
Hmm.
ended up picking her up, and then she asked to go to Ground Zero. She's like, "Oh, we want to visit some places to go in New York," and she's like, "Can you take us to Ground Zero?" And I'm like, "Ground Zero? Like, why would you go there?" But the whole time it was about it, I was more comic relief for them. But yeah, so that's what it was. That was cool.
Very nice. Okay, what was your first paid union gig, whether it be SAG-AFTRA or Equity?
Yes, so that was Mr. Robot. That was awesome. That was Rami Malek before I think season one of Mr. Robot.
Okay.
Yeah, before he won the Emmy and then he won the Oscar like the year later. Yeah, that was awesome.
Wow, that's wonderful. Okay. Do you act in public or Zoom readings to keep your skills sharp?
No, I don't really do Zoom. I don't do Zoom a whole lot in
Okay.
general.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, what do you mean, like?
Like, do you engage? Do you act in public readings or Zoom readings or just readings to keep your skills sharp? Like when you're not
No,
acting.
when I'm not working, which I'm pretty much regularly working, but when I'm not, I read plays. I got plays all over the house. I got the
Oh,
Glass Menagerie over here. I
okay.
got plays all over the house. I really just read plays. That's just how I started, and that's
Okay.
what I do to tighten up.
Smart, smart. Okay. Okay. How do you stay motivated in between acting gigs?
Well, I'm always doing something. I'm not just the actor, so I'm always, if I'm not writing or producing or pitching,
Hmm.
yeah, or any of that. So I do a lot of voice acting. That kind of doesn't really have a season. It flows pretty regularly. So
Okay.
if I'm not doing, especially in the beginning, before I really, I mean, I still have a ways to go, but before I was really solid, I made it my business to just do a bunch of things. So I would do black box theater. If I wasn't doing black box theater, I was doing voiceover, or if somebody had a student film or independent or a web series, I would jump in on that. And if I wasn't doing that, then I would write.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. So what income producing hustles do you do in between acting gigs outside of, because voiceover is still acting, but outside of that, what other hustles do you do to attract income for
I
your
don't have,
necessities?
yeah, I don't have another hustle, but
Okay.
actually we're just getting ready to put together like a seminar
Okay.
for the business of acting.
Hmm.
So my wife and I, she'll do the modeling. We're doing it as like a couple that will I'll do the acting and she'll do the modeling part. Just because we found that like we always try to help everybody. Well, as many people as we can, and a lot of times we'll get like the same questions, and so we're just like, oh, we can sort of help a group of people, and we want to be able to do it affordable because that really like works my nerves when I see people charging like $400 for an acting class.
$1,000.
Oh man, that's crazy. So we're charging like $45 for 2 hours. And
Okay.
then if you want to do the 4 week session, it's like $150. It's supposed to be more for lower income folks,
Hmm.
but just to give sort of the ABCs, we call it like acting modeling 101, just
Okay.
to introduce. So that's it. Other than that, like acting is my thing. I mean, I'll do background work.
Hmm.
I'll do that. That keeps my medical, what you call it, with the union and my
Hmm.
pension and stuff, the hours. So I don't have a problem doing that.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. All
I'll
right.
I'll, I'll hide in the back though when I'm there. I'm like I'm in the back chilling, with my hat down. But I just try to stay away from the camera. That's all.
Oh, smart, smart.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your acting type, or what have you been mostly cast as on stage and or camera?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So the type that I prefer,
No, that you have been cast as mostly.
well,
The types, or like, is there a type that you're usually cast as or predominantly cast as?
so yeah, so to speak, up until recently, I
Okay.
was mostly getting cast as a cop. I think it just started from the Rami Mr. Robot because I was a correction officer, and
Okay.
then I've been cast in that role a few times,
Mm-hmm.
and so that kind of just kept going. I think that's kind of the way it works, though. Like whatever you put out in your clips is what they see, so they kind of don't really see anything further than that, especially
Right.
in the beginning, because we're just trying to get any role that we can get. So, but I kept getting the cop, the cop, the cop, but or like front desk, like hotel or waiter stuff like that. I've gotten that stuff. Only recently I booked a couple of character roles. But that's cool. But mostly like front desk, either front desk or cop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So name a stage or on-camera performance where you feel like you delivered an A+ performance.
Oh yeah, with Satchel Paige, I really
Yeah.
with Josh the Black Babe Ruth. So fortunate to play Satchel. I think that's an awesome question because and me and the director will talk even now years later. So there's a couple of things that happened. One, I went into the audition with the baseball. So I came in with the baseball, with the overalls. Yeah, I was ready to roll and I was just flipping the ball around. So later on, they were like, man, you came in with that baseball, that was it. And I do that in auditions, like in
Yeah.
Fences for Gabriel, I came in with the trumpet. So it's like, I try to, do a little extra, a little edge to it. But it was really Satchel. He was so comfortable to play, so fun to play. And not just the baseball in the audition, but then when I Googled him, he was 6'4" and I'm 6'4".
What?
So I was just like, so yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Oh wow. And I saw him, y'all. He killed it. He killed
Yeah,
it.
thank you, thank you.
That
It
was
was so
my
much
first
fun.
time seeing you perform too.
Oh, that's awesome. It was so much fun.
I
So
could
much
tell.
fun. Yeah, that was I want to do that again.
I can tell you were having fun, which makes us have fun as the audience.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot
Okay.
of fun.
So name a stage or on-camera performance where you feel like you delivered a C+, C- performance.
I don't remember
Whatever
the
reason.
yeah, I don't remember the what you said you didn't want the reason?
No, no, for whatever reason you delivered a C-
Oh yeah. I
performance.
remember the play. I don't remember the name of it. It might have been The Funeral.
Okay.
and there was a lot of people on stage,
Mm-hmm.
and people didn't know their lines,
Mm.
and there was a lot of us on stage, and it did not look good. It felt really bad. I remember when I left, I just
Mhm.
went straight out the door. I didn't say anything. Like, I went from the stage to the door, and I was just gone. So yeah,
Oh,
that was the one.
so
There's
was it?
another one too. I was on Bull, and I had one line,
Mhm.
and that it's a very good lesson for me, even though it's kind of crazy because I've always said I wouldn't do this. I kind of got distracted. I was talking to a friend, so I had one line, and
Okay.
to be honest with you, I did not want to do that role. I mean, I was just kind of like, I've been auditioning for Bull since season one. This was season 6. You know, that was the last season,
Mhm.
and I did not want a one-liner. You know, I felt like I should have had something better than that or
Mhm.
whatever. And so I had this attitude like, whatever, man. And the director, I felt so bad because I pride myself usually on set where the director doesn't have to say anything to me because I make strong choices, you know, and the choices are so strong that I feel like I'm really close to what they were looking for. But
Mhm.
also, it's like, oh, you know what, just let them go.
Right.
And in this case, he was like, he gave me a direction. He was kind of saying like to throw it away a little bit more. He wanted me to
Mhm.
be more like with an attitude. The attorney is asking me, so what do you do? Like, what is your job? What do you do? And my line is like, I make buildings. I do. It was like a structural engineer or something like that. And he says I make buildings something. And the director wanted me to have more like a New York attitude, like, you know, just get out of my face, man. This is
Yeah.
what I do, such and such. And for whatever reason, I didn't hit the emotion, and I really felt bad because it was my first time working that I can remember under a black director on TV, and I got one line, and I was just like, and I guess it probably didn't play that bad
Yeah.
when it showed, but to me it bothered me because what I did is what I will hopefully never do again. Like, I gotta stay focused no matter what. So it made me know that even if you got one line, you gotta stay focused to be able, because I gotta be grounded. If I'm over here talking to girls or going to crafty or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm not grounded. Whenever I'm really, really grounded is when I can deliver the character, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right
So,
on. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's a like imposed upon pressure that the director is black, so you definitely want to represent, and the
yeah,
fact that you didn't hit it where you wanted to hit it. Yeah, I understand that. I
yeah,
understand. Yeah, and you know what they say? Some casting directors say like the one-liners sometimes they're more challenging because it's just one line and you just chilling like, oh well, this is nothing, but it's like, no, it is something.
yeah,
It is something.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. Okay, I have my little questions on the side here. Uh, if you could inhabit a widely known figure, historical or contemporary, who would they be and why? In film, in a biopic in film.
Uh, I mean, I get like Satchel again was is amazing. Just because I'm a baseball guy, and he was amazing. He was like 10 times Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? He carried the Negro Leagues almost by himself,
Oh
you
wow.
know, and you know, so he was amazing. And then probably Frederick Douglass.
Mm,
I still have a lot more to learn about him, his political positions, but his ability to influence politics and you know, white folks in the toughest times, like they really listened to him. And what was it about him that made, like, he was so intelligent, you
mm-hmm.
know, and so influential. And so, but with him, it's a little different because I'm not really into politics. You know, I pay attention. I consider myself a cosmopolitan, but I don't like politics because that's a nasty game. So I don't really want to find out, you know what I mean? But he was so intelligent when you
Yeah.
just listen to his words and his sort of his rebuttals to what was going on at that time. And then, you know, of course, he was just impactful. So yeah, but I think if I had to choose between the two, it would still be Satchel.
Oh, that would be fire.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could work with one film director, who would they be and why?
Uh, that's a tough one.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really tough because like as I grow in the industry, I start to meet different people. And so there's different types of people. So you have these super established film directors who, they would be so great to work with just because they're great, But then you have these up and coming film directors who you can tell they're special. Avi
Right.
Rockwell, she's special. I met her a few years ago and she's just special. I'm just a fan of hers. I haven't seen the new film yet, but I knew, and everybody knew, that she's very talented. Her eye is just, and her stories are just amazing. Um, I'm not sure that I would pick her. Um, I think your work is good. I
Oh,
think your
thank
work,
you.
yeah, I think your work is exciting. I think you have a bright future, So when it comes to stuff like that, it's like, as an artist, you want to be on the front line of what's coming,
Yeah.
and they talk about that in Hollywood. They'll say it all the time. Like Hollywood is a town that really thrives off the new people. Like the old people
Mhm.
are great, but they're sitting there waiting at the gate to see who's coming in next, So yeah, I think like Star Victoria.
Mhm.
There's someone else that I should be saying, and I can't really remember right now. It's a newer person, and I
Okay.
can't I can't remember her name. I know
Well,
Star Victoria is
we can
one.
come back. If you think of, we can come back to it if you think of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think I would probably, of course, Denzel and Felicia Rashad.
Mm.
I would definitely, just because they're so great. But if I had to choose one, I would
Yeah.
probably take a chance at choosing a newcomer such as yourself
Mm.
or even Star Victoria. She's pretty well known now, but an up and coming director who is somebody who is really going to do a good job.
Oh, right. And thank you for that, Day. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Name your favorite leading man and leading woman for film.
I hate to do it to Denzel, but Daniel Day-Lewis,
Uh-huh.
and just because he's an amazing character. I love that character stuff. He's so sharp and so witty and so precise. But
Mm.
Denzel is like a half a beat behind him. I love Flight. He's so witty, like he's so perfect, like in the moment. He's like perfect in every moment. It's rare that
Mhm.
you can catch him like not being great. You know what I mean? From
Mm.
Glory, like I said, I love Flight. I don't. A lot of people,
Me too.
yeah, yeah. I just love.
Love it.
I go back and watch it all the time just to watch his moves and his nuances and stuff like that. But Daniel Day Lewis is still my number one, mainly also because of the fact that he takes the time to choose the films that he wants to work on. So he'll leave for 7 years and then come back and hit another one out of the park. So
Yeah.
so yeah,
He's like the Sade of acting.
yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. So as far as the female,
Yeah.
that's a tough one. I hadn't really thought of it. Um,
Well, whose body of work as a female lead actress touches you the most or has?
well, body of work, I would say Angela Bassett, but who I want to say that Monique's role in Precious
Yeah.
is untouchable. I like characters, so that character that she brought was just like, whew, it was so complex, and she makes it so simple, and that's what I like about her
Mm.
ability to make a character be so simple but so complex and cathartic, like because you wanted to hate her right away,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So so
Wow. Beautiful. Okay. What role on stage or film challenged you the most?
yeah. uh I guess Gabriel, um Satchel was a little difficult with the dancing. I'm not a dancer, so he did the Charleston or something like that in the opening act. He comes out doing the Charleston,
Yeah.
and the whole crew was like laughing at me the whole time, and I'm trying to stay like because I have to do this. Like I can't get around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that I wouldn't really say Satchel because the whole rest of the play I was locked in and we were good. It was just the dancing part. Gabriel was a little tough because I had to create, well, I chose to create a walk for him and
From which play or film?
from fences.
Oh, from Fences. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Hmm.
Yeah, I did that recently in Hartford. And I did a thing, stem, like with your fingers.
Okay.
So I was like doing stuff with his
Um,
fingers because he has the traumatic brain injury. Well, he was shot in the head.
mhm.
So I had like a walk and I was practicing the walk. And then when I remember like opening, it wasn't just opening night. There was about 3 nights where when I come on stage, I had to open the fence. And to open the fence, I kind of like I hadn't practiced that, so it messed up my walk. Because when I get on the other side of the fence, it kind of it was just sort of awkward and
Yeah.
getting around the fence. And then I'm in the fence now. I'm on stage and I got to get back to the walk. And I was just like, but as the time went on, I got to do it, and people recognized it because I always try to. The walk is to me is really really important. I learned that from a couple of actors, from Eamon Joseph, and recently was at the screening with what's his name, Forrest Whitaker,
Yeah.
where he talked about how he developed the Bumpy Johnson character. Started with the walk, so he took the
Did.
beats that the walk gave him, and that gave him the language. That was really really important because it was more of an affirmation, but it was also a build. I got it. I initially got it from Eamon Joseph in the first season of Snowfall, where when I saw him get out the car, he's in like a Firebird. Now he's younger than me, and
Right.
I was born 1970, so in the 80s I wasn't young. I wasn't a baby. So he's younger than me. So in my mind, I'm like, you weren't there in the 80s to see people. He gets out of this Firebird like or Trans Am,
Hmm.
and he does this walk. It's like an 80s walk, and he's got the Jerry curls and he flicks the cigarette. And I called him right away. I said, "Yo, man." I said, "Yo, what that walk right there?" And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "It's not on the paper." And I was like, "Yeah." So from there, I knew most of the characters that I get, I really start with the walk. I try to give them a
Mm.
limp or something, and then I build from there.
Oh, wow. So something that distinguishes the character from yourself,
Yeah,
a physical physicality.
that's right.
Fire.
Because
Okay.
those nuances are not easy to get to. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
I
it's a
usually
big
tell
break.
people like pick your nose, do something, then you got to think like, what is this nuance? Other times I'll just do stuff like looking over my glasses or whatever
Mhm,
it is, but
mhm.
I also make sure that I'm doing that from the beginning. Like I'm not just coming on stage and just doing that. Anything that I'm doing with the character, I've been working on it for weeks.
Oh, love that. Okay. All right. So, what solid advice would you give to someone who is in pursuit of the acting profession?
Oh, that's a good question. So work to your strengths. I wouldn't try to be something that somebody else thinks you should be or what you think you should be. You should work to your strengths. Whatever your strength is, work to it. For me, my voice is a good place to start. They love my voice.
Fire
So
voice.
I'll lead with that. You know what I mean? And then sort of build around it. I love to study. I've always loved to study since I was a kid. So that's why I said I got plays and I'll Google everything and study, just keep studying. Um, yeah, and really also in this day and age, and I learned this early, is that the focus of the industry is the media, right? When I say the media, like the media that we present, like our headshots, our footage, that's what the industry wants to see. So that's what, especially the younger kids, or you got $1,000 iPhone, you can shoot scenes or whatever it is. We need to see you performing. right? I see it like a lot of actors who keep going to acting classes and stuff, and that like, okay, it's all good, but most of the actors that we know are talented enough to be on TV right now. Because I'm sure you watch TV shows where the actors are not as talented as we may like them to be. Where we have other actors right now who are super talented but not getting the opportunity. And that's the last part of that question.
Mhm.
You got to learn the business. You really have to learn the business. You have to learn the seasons. Like how this business works, how it works. If like the difference between a co-star and a guest star. That stuff is really important. You have to know how it works, like how you book, the difference between booking a co-star role and booking a guest star role, how that happens, so you can be able to set yourself up for that.
Mhm.
Even like auditioning for a co-star. That stuff is important. I didn't know that. Like they don't really teach that stuff. That the
No.
co-star is basically like a talking background. It's not Shakespeare. As a matter of fact, they want you to get the hell out of there. Say the lines and go. Get out of there fast. Yeah, there's no beats. When I thought, we take the beat here, you do the beat. No, they're like, no, because they're selling commercials in those seconds. They need those 12 seconds to sell the commercial. So talk, say your line and go, and you have to learn that. You have to understand that that's what that part of the business is about.
It's moving the story forward. It's
Yes.
moving the story forward.
As fast as you can.
Okay. What is your strength as an actor? But you said that your voice.
Yeah, but I have also I take direction good. Like I can switch fast. If I make strong choices, but I can come in with a strong choice and then you say, no, 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 we need you to actually do it this way. And I can switch and do it, because sometimes you make a strong choice and you've been working on it for months, and then you come in to do it and on set and they're like, no, do it this way. And then you can't because you're so stuck in the way that you've already done it. I've always been good and told that I was good at making strong choices. So I like that for me.
Okay, beautiful. All right. What is your best directing collaborative approach? So what do you, if you could tell a director, this is the best way to get the best performance out of me, what would that be? Like, what does that look like?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't. That's kind of hard to do.
Does it
How to
vary
tell it?
from director to director?
Well, no, for me to tell a director how to direct me, you're saying? So again, I come in with the choice. I haven't really actually had much experience with that. I've done mostly co-stars. I've had a few guest stars,
Mhm.
but in every case, I make strong choices and I work on them early. So that's the preparation. So by the time I come to you, it's like if the choice that I had made was not something that you were looking for, the choice was so strong that you're like, you know what, go with that. So I haven't really had the opportunity. But yeah, I would love. If
Like if
any,
it were an independent film or something and you all had a nice communication going and if ideal, you could say, hey, this is one of the best ways to help me produce the best performance.
oh, the best way, I need quiet, especially if I'm a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need quiet. I'm not the type. I don't know. You've been on set where people laughing and joking. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I need quiet, and I won't like if I'm like like if everybody else is doing something, I'll stay away and just stay in my zone. And if the director can understand that, which most of them do,
Mm-hmm.
I need really, really quiet to stay grounded. It's important for me to stay grounded because I need the character to be grounded, because I'm leaving this performance on the screen, right? And you're paying money to see it. I want you to enjoy the performance as like entertainment, you
Right.
know? So I need my character to be grounded. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what everybody else gonna do. I hope they're gonna do the same. But if they're not, when my character comes on the screen, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, this is for real, you know?
Nice. Nice. Okay, sweet. All right. Do you engage in ongoing training of any kind with your acting?
Yeah, let me think. So I'll take classes here and there with particular, because I have like a list on my wall here with particular, especially casting directors.
Mm,
Marcy Phillips, she was like number one on my list. She's like the head of casting at ABC, and I've
mm,
always wanted to take her class. Her class is awesome. David Bakari, he was like with Bernard Tesley, I think, did House of Cards,
mhm.
stuff like that. Bess Pfeiffer, she does Severance. She's an awesome Judy Henderson. So yeah, I'll take classes here and there,
Mhm.
depending on like what's going on. Like lately I've been writing and pitching, so I haven't really had the time. You know what I mean? And now the
Mhm.
season is sort of back in, so we're just trying to, get into it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's smart. So why do you elect to take training with casting directors as opposed to acting teachers? Just
No,
curious.
because the casting director usually can speak on behalf in general of what a director is looking for based on their experience. You know what I
Mm,
mean? I just
mhm,
find them certain ones. I've taken a lot of classes with casting directors, but the ones that I just named, those are like my top five. And the biggest thing for me that I've always, well, what I found most important for me as an actor was being grounded. So that's what I'm talking about, like with Daniel Day Lewis, like to get to those characters, to get to the vulnerability, to that vulnerable place, I have to get really, 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 really grounded. And so I take these classes with these particular people because that's something that they really harp and work on. David Bakari in particular, like, the nuances, just stuff like that.
And do they keep your mind for projects that they think you may be suitable for because you've established that relationship in those classes, or no, it's separate?
Yeah, Best Pfeiffer has. She calls me in a lot. I booked some stuff with her, but she's also called me in a lot. David Bakari, he'll respond. He's gotten back to me, but with him, he's kind of on a higher level than I'm at right now. So I just kind of like want to like, hey, I'm here, I'm coming, I'll be there. Just remember me, and he does. He remembers me. So yeah, and Judy Henderson, I haven't worked with her, and I think that's about. Oh, Marcy Phillips, no, haven't. I went into ABC,
Mhm.
but I don't really look at it like that. I really try to,
Training, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I want them to remember me, but I don't
Mhm.
go into them like, yeah, here I am, call me in one day. You know what I mean? Plus, they don't really like that sort of attitude, and my thing is like, I know I'm good. So I'm just waiting for you to find out that I'm good.
Oh,
you know?
hello.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. And how have you grown as an actor?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think more patience with the industry, because
Mm,
at first I thought I wasn't booking work because y'all didn't know that I was good. But then I realized that's not the way the industry works. It's not because I'm not good or any other actor. We're all good actors. This is a business that requires a lot of hustling, a lot of moving parts when it comes to production. I mean, when you're doing your own production, like when I'm doing a production, like I did not cast you because you weren't good. There was a bunch of other reasons why. Like I had to listen to, my co-producer who really wanted this person, and they were good and whatever, and they worked well. You know what I mean? So
mhm.
I more and more, I don't let it bother me. I just do the work, and then I leave it there. And then as the more that I do that, the more that I'm booking, and the more that I book is how I book more, because again, it's not so much about my talent. I feel my talent is good, but it's more so about my profile. It's like, oh, you worked with this person. So, oh, okay, because I went to a screening the other day. I run into Stefan Bristol, and we knew him before he, took off. And he was like, "Oh, I saw you on." He said, "I saw you on something," and I'm in a bunch of things coming out, so I don't know what, because he has the VIP whatever. And then he was like, "Oh, Dave Soderbergh." So Dave Soderbergh, that's a big name in the industry. That's he's just a big name. He's like the first. He has a bunch of accolades, but he's also like the youngest director ever to win Cannes or something like that. But he's a big HBO guy, and I'm in the new full circle with Claire Danes and what you call. I get killed like in the beginning, but my thing is that was the first.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and my thing is like that was the first thing he said to me. He's like, "Oh, you were in the Dave Soderbergh thing. I saw you." And I was like,
Mm.
oh, yeah, because I'm not thinking about it, but, that's what the industry recognizes. So now I'm starting to realize that's how they see us. Like, oh, you worked on that. So you're such and such. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Interesting. So IMDb credits, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. That means something. I was looking at a casting director's thing the other day where she was talking about how they pick their guest stars. And like the second thing they do is go through your IMDb to
Mm.
see like who you've been working with, and they're looking for the names. That's what they're looking for.
Mm. Interesting. It's the relationships you've developed through your acting, right? Through the
Yeah,
gigs you've booked.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So what are you currently working on as an actor?
Oh yeah, so awesome. That's a great question. So I'm on Pins and Needles because I'm pinned for a really cool recurring character with a super major star, like one of the top 3 stars in the world. And yeah, I got the email last week that they were sending, they like it and they're sending us over to the producers. And so I haven't heard anything from that. I haven't really been getting a lot of auditions lately. So that was the first audition in a minute. So, I put all that I got into it, you know, and it was a good character for me. He's like a Secret Service, so I'm 6'4", and that's a character that I can get into. So yeah, it was cool.
Okay, for those who are watching who are not actors, what does pinned mean?
Yeah, pinned is a broad term actually, because it's and this is again why we need to learn the business. So, because I get even a little like sort of perturbed about how this is coming about and why.
Mhm.
So, pinned in this,
In the industry.
yeah, but it's like I don't even want to give. I hate to give them this
That's
much.
fine. We'll
No,
keep it a mystery. We'll keep it a
no,
mystery.
no, no. I'm gonna
Oh,
explain it. It's just that uh, it's BS. So pinned is when you've auditioned and they've sent it, the casting director likes it, and then they're going to send it on to the producers and the directors to make a choice. So they'll probably send maybe 4 or 5 other
out of
actors.
how many actors who,
Oh, a lot,
yeah,
a lot. It could be 1,000 who submitted.
out of 1,000, they selected you and
Yeah, a few others that they'll
you.
send over, and they'll say we're pinned because out of us 5, you might have one celebrity like who didn't audition, who they want to do the role. He's pinned, or he's not really pinned. Celebrities don't really get pinned, but I'm pinned because they're saying like, we really want you for this role. We're gonna let you know in a few days, if you'll get selected or not. Now the reason why this is BS is because in the union, the term was hold. So it's really just a difference in the term that they're using, because in the union contract, it's hold, the term hold that's in the contract. So if
Mhm.
they it's the same situation, but they're just changing the word. Because if a production company holds me and they don't release the hold within 24 hours of the role, they have to pay me for that day, right? But what they've been doing is because like they get so consumed that they forget to release you. So like right now I'm
Mm.
pinned, but they don't have to say, "Oh, you're not pinned anymore." They'll just never contact me. That means I never got the job. You know what I mean? But so yeah, so they're just using a different word so that they don't have to pay, basically. Production companies. So that's the
Interesting.
part I don't like about it, but it's all good.
Okay, yeah, because I was pinned and yeah. All
Yeah, and
right.
sometimes they won't tell you. They won't say you're no longer pinned. They'll just move on.
Right, because I had to reach out to my talent manager, and she's like, "Well, yeah, they went with someone else.
Right.
It was nice to be pinned, though, to be thought of out
Yeah.
of so many actors." So,
Yeah.
okay. And lastly, how can people connect with you on social media or your website if you have one? Or
Yeah, sure. My website is www.danieldanielson.com.
Okay.
and like all of my stuff is there. Our film that we're pitching, Black Privilege, White Power, is there's a link there. Um,
What
oh
is
yeah,
that about? If you don't mind disclosing, do you want to hold?
yeah, yeah, sure. No, the elevator pitch. It's a civil rights, voting rights film about a young white college student who travels into Mississippi during Freedom Summer and meets Fannie Lou Hamer, and John Lewis and Stokely Carmichael. And so the young white student reflects a number of the college students who joined Freedom Summer. It was also like the Freedom Riders and Freedom Schools, and they sacrificed themselves to help to register 60,000 plus voters down in the Mississippi Delta. I was adopted, and so the young white student was my aunt. She was a civil rights activist up until she passed in 1985 from a car accident. But yeah, so this is that story. It's an amazing story, sort of a backstory to Selma also. Yeah.
Congratulations. So, where are you in that part of it? Are you in a season of going into production?
No, we're still in development, really just fundraising. We've been, tightening up the draft of the script. It's good. So now we're just really just pitching, fundraising. We've pitched to a number of people, Rock Nation, Tom Hanks, a number of different people. We got some more pitches coming up. So we just stay pitching. That's all. It's all good.
And stay pitching just like Satchel Paige?
That's right. That's right. That
All
is right.
right, sweet. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the Actors Hustle interview series with actor Daniel Danielson. And again, I am China L. Colston, actress and independent filmmaker based in New York, but I'm from Chicago. Peace.